Welcome to the Fitness Simplified podcast. I'm Brooke Davis, women's functional nutritionist and fitness specialist with Elysian Women's Wellness, and I'm here to simplify your fitness. All right, ladies, I am coming in hot today. Alcohol is the most widely used, most socially acceptable form of poison in our world today. Quite literally. I understand why people drink it, but I don't think that most people have any idea how much it actually impacts them, often until they cut it out. I'll tell you that I don't drink anymore, and the reason why is because almost every time I did, though, and likely because it was so few and far between, I overdid it. Regardless of what I told myself at the beginning of the night, my last time drinking was almost 6 years ago now on a work trip. Yeah. And it started with sake bombs. The next day at the conference, it was all I could do to not hurl my guts out all over the gym floor as we learned about mobility. It was absolutely miserable. And that was actually after 4 to 5 years of not drinking because of that very reason. At that point, I told everyone I don't drink until I did. Well, I'm proud to say that despite the very real and often peer pressure, I honestly don't feel the need to drink anymore, and I have zero desire for it, which I'm really grateful for, because the more I've learned about alcohol and the impact that it has on our body, our brains, our overall well-being, I'm even less interested in it. Alcohol impacts almost every aspect of our body, from hormones to cognitive function. And it can take up to 7 years for the brain to fully recover from alcohol use. What most people are here for, though, is understanding how it impacts weight loss and struggles in perimenopause and menopause. And it does so dramatically. Even just that nightly glass of wine could really be exacerbating your symptoms and causing your body to store more fat, further overloading your detox pathways, disrupting your gut microbiome, and so much more. So let's get into the details. We are going to start with the just general impacts of alcohol on metabolism. So perimenopause, all the hormone fluctuations that come along with it, all have a major impact on your metabolism. Alcohol can just complicate all of these changes, really making it harder for perimenopausal women to manage weight, maintain a healthy weight, and maintain a healthy metabolism. Let's break down some of the specific ways it affects weight loss and metabolic health. Alcohol is not only high in calories, so it's actually 7 calories per gram. So a normal carbohydrate is 4 calories per gram. Alcohol is 7. Fats are 9. So it's like right in the middle of that. But they're empty calories. There is zero nutritional benefits. The standard glass of wine or cocktail can range from 100 to 300 calories. And these calories can add up really quickly. So when alcohol and these empty calories are replacing nutrient-dense foods, we're really missing out on vitamins, minerals, and ultimately macronutrients that the body needs for energy and for hormone balance. So for perimenopausal women, most of which already struggle to meet their daily nutritional needs due to poor dieting habits, societal conditioning, or really just lack of education around the topic, these empty calories can make you feel full without actually providing any kind of nourishment. This is especially important at this time because your body needs even more nutrients than ever to support your bone health, muscle retention, and overall energy during this stage of life as your hormone production declines. One of the biggest ways that alcohol affects your metabolism is through the reduction of fat burning. It actually stops fat burning. When alcohol is in your bloodstream, the body treats it as a priority toxin that has to be metabolized and cleared before anything else happens. So this means that while the liver is busy processing alcohol, it's not working on anything else, including fat oxidation or fat burning. So as a result, your fat burning slows down considerably, and the body can even start storing those excess calories as fat until the alcohol is metabolized. So especially for women who are struggling with hormonal weight gain, this can become a huge barrier to reaching your weight loss goals. So with slowed metabolism and the body's preference for storing rather than burning fat, it's really all working against you. For women over 40 working on fitness goals, and if you're not, you need to be, because muscle is going to be your lifesaver, quite literally. Alcohol can be a huge obstacle to building and maintaining muscle. This is a key factor in maintaining or gaining a healthy metabolism. So alcohol actually disrupts muscle protein synthesis, which is your muscles repairing and growing after exercise. It's not the exercise that does you the good, it's the recovery afterwards. And so when you're drinking, this is impaired. So this means that even if you are consistent with your strength training, alcohol will reduce your muscles' ability to recover and to regrow, essentially wasting your time, reducing the benefits of your workouts. Alcohol can also increase muscle soreness, prolong recovery time, making it harder ultimately to stay consistent. When you're sore and you're tired, you're not sleeping well, we'll get into that, then it's harder to stick to a routine. So muscle mass is especially important during perimenopause. It helps counteract natural metabolic decline. It supports stronger bones, which also declines with decline of estrogen. But with impaired recovery, growth, regular alcohol consumption can make it much, much harder to be successful. Next, let's dive into hormones. So one of the main ones that we see an impact on with drinking is cortisol. You know, that pesky stress response. So, of course, this is a normal, a necessary hormone to response to stress, but too much of it for too long can cause a whole host of issues. Alcohol, again, is a toxin, so your body responds appropriately. When you drink, your body sees it as a stressor. How much you drink depends on how big of a stressor it sees it as. And in response, releases cortisol. So studies have shown that even drinking a moderate amount of alcohol can increase cortisol level for hours after consumption. I'd also like to define moderate. So there's no technical definition, but Google says, just so we're on the same page here, that moderate alcohol consumption is defined as 1 drink or fewer per day for women and 2 drinks or fewer per day for men. So a standard drink is about 0.5 fluid ounces of alcohol, which is equivalent to 12 fluid ounces of regular beer, not IPAs, 5 fluid ounces of wine, 1.5 fluid ounces of 80 proof distilled spirits. So over time, though, even a few times a week leads to those consistently elevated cortisol levels. And the unfortunate thing is that most people are using it because they are stressed, which actually worsens their situation, causing that vicious cycle and turning to more alcohol. I have a whole podcast on the stress response and cortisol, so I'm going to direct you to that for some more in-depth information if you want. But long story short, chronically elevated cortisol eventually leads to major fatigue, HPA axis dysfunction, mood swings, sleep disruptions. Even when alcohol makes you feel like you slept better, studies have actually shown that it decreases the amount of restorative sleep that you get. So there's that recovery portion, along with the fact that increased cortisol then throws off your melatonin production and your overall circadian rhythm. So that vicious cycle. Then, of course, chronically elevated cortisol can cause storage of fat around the belly. This fat specifically is called visceral fat, and it is a major risk factor for metabolic disease like diabetes, inflammatory bowel disease, among a host of others. Next, we have estrogen. Alcohol is cleared from the body through the liver in the same pathways that estrogen is. So again, when alcohol is in your system, because it's a primary toxin, your body stops metabolizing anything else until the alcohol is cleared, including estrogen. So this impacts the liver's ability to metabolize and clear estrogen from the body, resulting in higher circulating estrogen. So as you may know, estrogen and progesterone in perimenopause are constantly going through much larger fluctuations than normal. It's normal for them to fluctuate throughout the cycle, but there is some massive spikes and massive tanks when it comes to perimenopause. So this imbalance also commonly leads to estrogen dominance. Progesterone is the first kind of hormone to
decline in perimenopause, which leads to estrogen dominance. This is where relative levels of estrogen are high, even if both are low. So when you combine this with alcohol, it raises your estrogen levels even further. It can intensify some of your common perimenopausal symptoms. Another side of this is sometimes having that nightly glass of wine can actually feel better short term because, again, it does raise your estrogen. So if your symptoms are related to decreased estrogen, you may feel like it helps you, but overall, it's going to be a detriment. These elevated estrogen levels cause a host of downstream impacts, including increased fat storage, mood swings, bloating and water retention, or inflammation. Even things like fibroids, endometriosis, all can be caused by that increased estrogen. Another really important aspect of alcohol's impact on hormones, especially in perimenopause, is the effect on insulin. So insulin is the hormone that regulates blood sugar. This helps us use glucose for energy, and it's already an issue in perimenopause, but it is exacerbated by alcohol. So when you drink alcohol, again, the liver's only priority is to get that alcohol out of your system. But your liver is also responsible for glucose production and release. So when you drink, the result is an immediate blood sugar tank or hypoglycemia. So this can trigger your hunger signals, increase your cravings for high sugar, high carb foods, usually processed, which then leads to blood sugar spikes. So you might be familiar with the term drunchies. This is why. So in addition to blood sugar spikes, people will often overeat these foods, increasing the likelihood of fat storage, inflammation, and digestive disruption. So these large swings in blood sugar also impact your energy levels and your mood. Speaking of appetite, alcohol also impacts your hormones that regulate appetite, so ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone, and leptin is your body's fullness signal. So ghrelin can become upregulated, making you feel more hungry, and leptin is downregulated, throwing off your ability to feel full. This effect is especially noticeable during perimenopause, when those hormonal changes can already make cravings more intense and harder to resist. Drinking also, of course, lowers your resolve, making it really easy to give into these cravings, leading to choices like high fat, high sugar, high calorie processed foods. So one common pattern, especially with social drinking, is late night snacking and turning to those high calorie comfort foods. And these extra calories can really add up quickly, especially because they are actually consumed at a time when the body's metabolism is slowing down for the night. So for perimenopausal women who are trying to lose weight, this extra snacking is even more of a problem for them, right? That cycle. So obviously, as we always preach, finding balance between social enjoyment and your health goals is really important. I don't want to just talk at you. I want to provide solutions. So here are some practical strategies to help navigate alcohol consumption while supporting your overall wellness goals. Setting intentions and being mindful. If you are going somewhere, you're going to spend time with people that you know alcohol is involved, set your intentions or your limits beforehand. If you plan how many drinks you're going to have, or if you're deciding that you're going to skip alcohol altogether, you're going to be a lot more in control than showing up and not having a plan, of course. So this makes it easier to drink less without feeling like you're missing out or feeling deprived because that was your intention. And of course, we know that when we follow through with the things that we say we're going to do, we feel really good about that. So if you set your limit at 1 or 2, you can savor it, enjoy it thoroughly, knowing that this is, the one that you're going to have, not something you're like, oh, I'm just going to finish it and go grab another. So if you opt to skip the alcohol altogether, there are, of course, so many alternatives, mocktails, soda water with lime, bringing your own sparkling beverages. There are hundreds at this point that can give you just a fully satisfying experience that are also way easier on your body. So there are so many non-alcoholic beers, wines that even if you just love the flavor, you don't even have to miss out on that. Non-alcoholic drinks also allow you to be involved in the social settings without being like, oh no, I can't go, right? Without feeling like you're out of place. They take away the after effects, which interfere with sleep, energy, metabolism. You get all the good without the bad. So if and when you do choose to drink, some things that you can do to minimize the hormonal and metabolic impact. Number one, hydrate between drinks of alcohol. Alcohol is dehydrating, so that can make hangovers and fatigue way, way worse. Plus, you're probably not drinking enough water as it is. So try drinking a glass of water between each of your alcoholic beverages to stay hydrated. It also helps you slow down how much you're drinking. So this gives your body more time to process the alcohol as well. And then pairing alcohol with high protein, high fiber snacks. Drinking on an empty stomach only increases the absorption, the speed of the absorption of alcohol, leads to bigger blood sugar spikes and cravings. So instead of, going in with an empty stomach or even expecting to get something like while you drink, having something beforehand, like some sort of meat, fruit, nuts, cheese, it can all help slow down the absorption of alcohol and help you maintain more stable blood sugar levels and the roller coaster that comes with that. So again, if you're going to drink, opting for lower sugar options. The sweet cocktails, most of them are really, really high in calories. They're insanely high in sugar, which is of course unnecessary calories. And then we're going back to the blood sugar. So choosing lower sugar options, dry wine, a vodka and soda with lime, things like that can help you manage that blood sugar and reduce the chances of overeating later. And then of course, when it's not super sweet, it's a little bit harder to drink. It helps you slow down your consumption of the alcohol for a lot of people. To tie this, all together, I think for perimenopausal women, the most important thing is simply cutting down on the frequency of drinking, not just the quantity, like per time that you drink. This can make one of the biggest differences in your hormonal health and especially weight loss, because when you drink less frequently, it allows your liver and metabolism more time to recover between events, right, or beverages. This can help stabilize your hormone levels, keep your cravings, energy, and your mood way more balanced. And of course, limiting how often you drink also reduces all of the cumulative effects of alcohol on your metabolism. So it gives your body more time to focus on fat burning, muscle recovery, especially when you're prioritizing, those other foundational things. And so by setting specific goals like only drinking 1 to 2 drinks on the weekend, right? Keep it to the weekend, or only having 1 to 2 drinks during the week, right? The whole week. Like I made a joke with a friend. It's like, okay, if you can get through, to like Wednesday without having a drink, then you're like, okay, have one then. But the longer time period you can go in between drinks, the better. Helps you support all of those habits and helps you continue your other healthy habits without feeling completely restricted or like you have to cut it out altogether. I want to lastly address some myths that I always hear that some people like to try and justify their alcohol with. So myth number 1 is that red wine is healthy because of the antioxidants. So yes, red wine does have some antioxidants. The reality of it is that the amounts are really relatively low when you compare it to foods like berries, leafy greens, other fruits and vegetables. So a small serving of blueberries or a handful of spinach actually provides way more antioxidants without the added calories or the alcohol and the fact that your body has to deal with it, making that a far more effective choice if you are looking to support your health. So again, specifically in perimenopause, the alcohol in wine really has a larger negative effect on the hormones and metabolic function that outweighs any of the minor antioxidant benefit. So if your antioxidant intake is a priority, going for the berry smoothie, colorful salad, that is going to give you a far bigger concentrated dose of beneficial, compounds, antioxidants without the downsides of the alcohol. So nice try. And then myth number 2, you can just burn off the alcohol calories with exercise. So technically, yes, you can. But while this might make sense, it's not that simple because, like I explained, alcohol is, again, a toxin. So it actually affects your body's ability to perform and recover. Because alcohol disrupts sleep and dehydrates the body, even, again, moderate drinking can impact your performance in the gym the next day. So this makes workouts feel harder, it makes them less effective, and because it prioritizes that alcohol metabolization over burning stored fat, any calories from alcohol actually take longer and more effort to burn off than those from food. So, this all being said, I am not here to tell you you have to quit drinking. I want to bring awareness and education so that you can make an informed decision. I think the first and most important question is, why do you drink? The second question, is it serving you? What is it that you feel like alcohol brings to your life? And now, with what you know, is it actually bringing that to your life, or is it making it worse? Is it social? Is it stress relief? Is it simply a habit? Do you actually need it to socialize? And if so, why? Can you find other, more effective ways to actually relieve stress, or are you just numbing? Are there underlying things, traumas, big T, little t, that you need to address instead? Can you create other habits? Balancing alcohol with wellness goals is doable, yes, but it's about making intentional choices, being mindful about, again, why you're drinking, when you're drinking, taking advantage, exploring some of those alternatives, and then, of course, taking other steps to support your hormone health while drinking. You can, it's very possible, still enjoy social moments without completely derailing your health and wellness goals. So small shifts in these habits can make a really big impact, just ultimately helping you stay aligned with what you want and your journey toward better. Thank you for listening, and best of luck to you. We have officially started our 8-week holiday challenge that we have partnered with Vitality Health and Wellness in, Cryo and Sauna, but you can still join us. Each week is a new simple focus just to make sure you don't completely forget about your health over the most hectic time of year. I will link the sign up in the show notes. Local participants get 10 to 20% off packages of cryo and sauna therapy, and the winner gets varying packages of cryo and sauna therapy along with online training and HTMA packages. So I will link that in the show. And surprise, this is the grand reveal of the beginning of my newly decorated podcast office decor. I tell everybody my toxic trait is that I am indecisive, but I am impulsive. So I have been wanting to paint my office for a long, long time. And if you're just listening, you are not going to get this. But if you are watching this on YouTube or you go look at it, then you will see what I mean. Big changes I am super excited about. I initially was going to paint it this color, which is a very, 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 very light pink. And I know it looks white, don't be fooled, but my other toxic trait is that I don't like white in my house. I have not a single white wall, except for this one now. And I bought this paint just kind of dipping my toe in the water of trying to get something a little more neutral. It took me forever to decide on it, of course, that indecisiveness, but I finally got it. I painted and then was like, this is white, I hate it. And so that night I went out into town and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go pink. So this is my hot pink wall and I absolutely love it. Every time I walk into my office, I just smile. I have a lot of things that are going to go back up here. I've got some wood designs and stuff to kind of mute both colors, but I'm really excited about it. So stay tuned for the updates and the actual reveal.
If you have any questions, suggestions for future topics, or just want to chat, Feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Brooke_Elysian and Facebook linked in the show notes, or via our website, ElysianWomen'sWellness.com. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, we'd be thrilled if you could take a half second to leave us a 5-star review. Not only will you be helping others find our show, but you'll also be entered into our monthly $100 giveaway for no reviews. New episodes drop every Monday, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. Thanks for listening. See you soon.